Mental Patchwork Podcast.
I think in my first episode, Okay, let me start this again. So I think in my first episode, I mentioned some... No, let's start again. I found something. It's a Chinese proverb, supposedly. Here it is. He who blames others has a long way to go on his journey. He who blames himself is halfway there. He who blames no one has arrived. That's kind of like similar to that thing from episode 1 about level 1 is feel the cringe and do it anyway, and level 2 is just don't even feel the cringe. I just rediscovered one of my favorite pedals. It's called Freeze pedal. It literally freezes the sound like this. That chord will keep going until I press it again. So this is just perfect for listening to, or you could chant along with it. Or you could play finger exercises along with it on the guitar like this. I'm supposed to play that faster and faster because this is from something called Shred Accelerator series, Speed and Technique. I got the Bernth course, one of the Bernth courses that he made for sale actually. And but I just play it slow, whatever, it's a good time, and I'm going to extrapolate into different notes. Sounds like it could become a little bit of a song or something. I just read the funniest little bit of news. Some dude, when he turned 70 years old, he became a porn star, which was his dream job. And then he died on his very first day on set. Pretty funny stuff. I just found out one of the oldest living cats lived to be 38 years old, and her name was Cream Puff, and she was really cute. And she lived to be 38, and she was really cute, and her name was Cream Puff. So I'm guessing that the key to eternal life, the key to long life, is to be cute. And so I would like to live forever. So I am really cute. So I think that I will have no problem living to be 100 at least, if not way, way more, just by virtue of being cute. Thank you very much. I just found yet another example of correlation, which may or may not mean causation. Once again, it would depend on talking to the people involved in the making of the music. In the past, I mentioned a song by Toronto having a similar guitar thing to an Iron Maiden song from their first album. And I also mentioned that Tame Impala used a guitar thing that sounds exactly like an Iron Maiden thing. Well, here's another one involving Iron Maiden. I was just listening to Roxy Music on vinyl. And song 2 on the first side of Avalon is called The Space Between. And it has a thing that's almost exactly like Run to the Hills. Ba, 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 ba. Go listen to it. You'll find out. You'll see what I mean. So, which came first, chicken or the egg, and was it a coincidence or what? And Iron Maiden, Number of the Beast, Run to the Hills was 1982. And Roxy Music, Avalon, also 1982. Very interesting. Maybe famous artists have like a little running joke where they're like, okay, let's both use this idea for a song and see if anybody notices. Some exciting stuff happened, but that was a long time ago, like several hours ago. So now I have to pretend I'm excited when I tell you the story. So the number 314 was coming up a lot. And for reasons that were not a coincidence. And then 314 started to come up as a coincidence. Like 3 of them. And so I was like telling people, I was asking people, how many digits of pi have you memorized? And most people don't seem to know what pi is. And I've only memorized 3.14, so. But anyway, so I was like, look there's so much pi today. Oh, and also this morning I had, what was it, a strudel? I think it was a strudel. It's pretty similar to pie. It was delicious, whatever it was. It was a raspberry strudel. But anyway, after all that pie stuff, I went to buy a bag of chips. And this bag of chips, guess how much the total was? $3.14. That's pie. I couldn't believe it. That was just incredible. So, major pie coincidences today. Like, someone said I should buy a lottery ticket, and I'm like, yeah, totally. So I haven't. I should. Well, it's almost like 7 o'clock. I might have missed my chance to buy a lottery ticket. I don't want to leave the house. It's too cold out there. But I decided to celebrate all this pie stuff by writing a Python program which helps the user memorize more digits of pi. So I haven't written it yet, but I think it's going to be pretty darn easy. And of course, I'm going to get ChatGPT to help me. Like after I write it, I usually ask for ideas. So basically, it's going to be like, the user is like, or the program's like, okay, type the first letter, the first number of pi, and it's just a 3. And if you get it right, then it says, yes, that's correct. Now type the next digit, 3.1, right? And as long as you keep on getting it right, the program will keep far of how far you got. And somehow I guess it has to give you clues, like it should give you a second to kind of look at the answer or something. I don't know. Somehow make it fun and effective so that the user can increase the amount of digits that they can memorize of pi. Let's find out what the digits are for pi. First 50 digits. 3.141592653382384622384197169399375110. Oh, here I go. 3.1415. Did I get that right? Okay, that's the most I've ever done. 3.1415. Yay me. 1 day later, I did make the program, and it was easy, and it works perfectly. And I did get ChatGPT to help me make it better. 3.14159. See, I have one more decimal place memorized. And I actually had some other ones, but I forget them right now. Sometime later. Okay, I just got a victory royale in Fortnite, and I looked at the clock, and you know what time it is? 3:14 a.m. Pie, and more pie.
Music time.
The aftermath of pi. All of that pi stuff happened right around the time that my band was supposed to play at Pizza Pie, but we had to cancel due to unforeseen circumstances. That's even more pi. That's a lot of pi. Which was also within a couple of days of my birthday, actually. A fascinating abundance indeed. Happy birthday to me. To celebrate, here's Plog Alter Ego. Here's a robot voice reciting about 17 digits of pi.
Pi equals 3.41459265358979323, etc.
Maybe I should start using Raspberry Pi instead of Arduino. Maybe the first chicken was actually morphed. Like it used to be a dinosaur, but then it morphed into a chicken. Kind of like a slug turns into a butterfly. A dinosaur morphed into a chicken. And that would explain which came first, the chicken or the egg. The chicken came first. And then it gave birth to the first ever chicken egg.
Okay, I found this funny meme today. It says, Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys was so obsessed with the 20th century American folk song, Shortnin' Bread, that it made even Iggy Pop uncomfortable. This guy is nuts, he said about him, supposedly. And that's funny because, I wouldn't have guessed. And apparently, I haven't listened to it yet. The Beach Boys did a cover of that song, which I need to listen to, obviously. I haven't done that yet. But speaking of shortening bread and craziness, here's a thing that I've done with students in the past. You can take any song, right, like a happy little song, and start changing some of the notes to flat notes, or just changing them, like play them 1 fret lower or higher or something. And it, like, say all the A notes, you could leave all the rest of the notes the same, but change the A notes to A flat or something like that, right? It's creative. And simple enough that you don't have to get heavy into keys and all this stuff, although, you could go there if you want to think about that stuff. So this is normal. Right, that's the normal Shortnin. So if you change this A note to A flat, it starts to sound different, like this. Okay, suddenly it's a whole different ball game, right? It sounds like creepy and sad, like Halloween music or something, or like funeral music. If you wanted to get into the music theory, you could say that the sixth has been changed into a flat sixth. And then at the end of the song, when it goes shortening bread, you could change those notes too. What if we don't change them? We'll just only change the A flats, like this. Pretty weird blend of happy and sad. It's like a major scale with a flat six. Mixolydian flat six actually is one of my favorite scales, also known as the melodic major scale. But anyway, we could change the mixture of happy and sad. We could change the other notes too. Like that, there's an E note like this. We could change that to E flat. Then it sounds like this. But I want to change this D note. Change it to a D flat. Now we change three notes to flats. So it's going to have a flat six and a flat three and a flat two, like this. That's my favorite version. It's supposed to be a happy song, but there you go. Now it's something different, weird. It's like a creepy funeral song. It could be used for a horror movie or something. Kind of like, I just remembered the band Tool, or maybe it was A Perfect Circle. I think it was Tool. Did a cover of Imagine by John Lennon. And I haven't learned the particulars. Like, I want to pick up a guitar and figure out what they did. But somehow they made it much more morbid than the original. Okay, it was covered by A Perfect Circle. Yes. Yeah, I want to listen to that again. It's like really emotional. When I was first learning music, I learned a major scale, and then I learned a minor scale, and I noticed right away that I like the minor scale better. So, I don't know. There's like deeper emotion or something sometimes when you have minor scales. Time dilation. I just found a great new word. Another word for something I call time dilation, like when I started bailing on my bike this one time and I went in slow motion flying through the air. I had lots of time to think about how not to injure myself. So I just found this cool word, Chronoception. I'm looking at Instagram. Chronoception. Your brain has its own internal clock. When you're in danger, your brain speeds up its processing, making it feel like the world has literally slowed down into bullet time. Yeah, that's awesome. That reminds me, there was a spot in that show Westworld where some of the characters got a chance to see everything in robot time. So the humans all looked really slow because of the different frame rate, I guess you could say. And I'm not sure if this came up. I think, according to my memory, someone was like, okay, well, why do the robots look like they're moving so slow? And the answer was, oh, they're just going slow to make the humans more comfortable. Like, that's really reassuring. Squeezing under the wire. It's a thing with me, and I bet a lot of you can relate. Well, 2 days ago, I found out that today was the deadline for getting a film submitted to the short film festival that I like to get something into every year. In fact, the deadline is about 11 minutes from now. So, having only 2 days to put something together, I decided 2 days ago to do something yesterday. So, I thought, well, what kind of film can I put together in only one day? So I just set up a camera and filmed myself playing some classical guitar, one of my classical compositions, the first one I ever wrote. It's called Wandering, and I started writing it in grades 10 or 11, and it took me about 6 years to write it. And that was fun. So actually everything went really well. The thing that took the longest was to figure out the camera angle and the lighting and the backdrop. And then once I was ready to play guitar, it was actually really easy. And everything went really smoothly. I thought it would take all day, but it only took about probably 6 hours or something. Half a day. Yeah. So there you go, Under the Wire, which reminds me, I have a similar story from 5 years ago. It was getting on towards the end of the year, and I realized that I had not put out an album all year. I usually try to put out at least one album a year with some sort of recording project, and I realized I hadn't done anything. So I decided to put together a collection of songs that were like partway done and just a whole bunch of miscellaneous songs. I managed to scrounge up a bit of a theme, or just songs that sounded good together, I mean. And so I put out an album called Under the Wire, which I just managed to release like right at the end of 2021. So I'll probably play you a song from that. And maybe I'll choose right now, actually. Yeah. Oh, I don't know what song I'm going to play. Yes, I do. The song I'm going to play for you guys from my album, Under the Wire, it's called Clear Sky Party Time. And that was titled after just like, wow, we had all this smoky weather because of all the forest fires. It was one of the worst years. Like, you couldn't even see down the street. You couldn't even see across the street. It was just pure smoke everywhere. It was crazy. And then when we had some clear skies, I was just like, wow, it's incredible to have a clear sky and just enjoy a blue sky. Just felt like such a luxury. So I made a song called Clear Sky Party Time. Here it is.
forgot to tell you that was a 7-minute song, so hopefully you survived. Okay, so the story about the deadline for the film was like February 14th, and now it's like March something, March 7th. And if I do publish my podcast today, if I publish this episode today, that's just in the nick of time, under the wire once again, in time to tell you that the showing of the film festival is tomorrow. So if you go to the Paramount tomorrow, whatever time it's at, I don't even know, then my little guitar video will be in there and a bunch of other videos that people did too.
So on the radio today, they played I Wanna Rock by Twisted Sister, and with some news about Dee Snider's health and how Sebastian Bach would be singing on tour with Twisted Sister. So that should be neat. I was wondering if Sebastian Bach might wear the Twisted Sister makeup, hopefully with Dee Snider's blessing. And that would be kind of awesome for Twisted Sister fans. I remember in grade 9, I made in woodwork shop class, I made a Twisted Sister logo using the bandsaw, I guess. I think that's what it was. I made a Twisted Sister logo out of wood in grade 9. So anyway, they played I Wanna Rock. And I thought, hey, I got rocks. I got a bunch of rocks. So after I had some fun singing along with Twisted Sister on the headphones, I went and looked for my rock collection, and I found this black felt baggie. And I haven't even opened it, but I could feel what's inside. It's actually all of my dice, all of my different shapes of dice. 12-sided and all that. I just think they're kind of cool, but I also sometimes use them to write music. For example, the 12-sided dice. Hey, let's see what's in here. Yeah, so I thought this was my bag of rocks, but it was actually my bag of dice because I have 2 of these black felt bags. And I found the other one which has rocks in it. But here's all my dice. Yeah, so there's my dice. Aren't they pretty? Here's one that it's a 6-sided, yeah, it's just your standard 6-sided die, but it also has a little tiny one on the inside that rolls around, so you can roll them both at the same time and you get 2 numbers out of it, a big one and a little one. So that's a big 2 with a tiny 5 on the inside. There's a big 3 with a little 3 on the inside. So what are you going to use that for? I don't know. I don't really do Dungeons and Dragons. But any kind of game of chance, like if I'm making music, right? I don't know. Or what if I'm doing some Python programming and I need to plug in some variables? Like, what variables am I going to use to test this? I mean, if I was doing proper mathematical testing, I would probably do some kind of sequential testing to test all of the possibilities. But, why not use dice to figure out what your numbers are going to be, right? So let me see if I have a 12-sided one. This has 20. Well, I really wish 1, 2, 3. Okay, I found one that has 12 sides, probably also known as a dodecahedron or whatever. So that's just perfect for if you're doing musical dice rolling activities, because there's 12 chromatic half steps in an octave. So I sometimes use this to select a key. So if I choose the A string to somehow correlate the numbers to musical notes, I choose the A string because we have A at the beginning of our alphabet. So if I roll a 1, that's A sharp. It's whatever fret it is on the A string. So if I roll a 12, it's A. I rolled a 5. So on the A string, that's a D note. So I just rolled a D note. Okay. So if I wanted to write a melody, there we go. Is that a D chord or a D note? I don't know. That's up to me to decide. What else do I got? A bunch of different kinds. So anyway, those are my dice there. But I really came here to show you my rocks. Okay, so I already previously described this nice sort of cloudy blue one, which, as it turns out, the unique shape is also extremely similar to this thumb pick, which goes on your thumb for playing guitar. And the sort of oblong cross-section shape of this sky blue rock that I have, they were sitting beside each other on the table, on the counter, and I hadn't even noticed that they're pretty much the same shape. So that was kind of a weird coincidence. And there's my champagne colored one. Here are a couple of very sparkly in the kind of way of kind of like fool's gold. I don't even know what they're called. They give you a slip of paper when you go to the rock store, and it's cooler to find a rock in the wild, but these are harvested somewhere. This one's like a sparkly blue, sapphire kind of blue with gold flakes. I got 2 of them right here. Right here I have a couple of 8-sided, kind of like 2 pyramids that are sitting back to back from each other. Whatever that's called, octahedron. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. That's an octahedron. I got 2 of these, and these are like green. One's dark green. The other one's more of a light green you can see through. They're both green octahedron shaped. Really nice little rocks. And incidentally, I also have dice. I also have die that are 8-sided. So maybe they can work together someday. One of my plans, I don't know if it'll ever happen. So many ideas. One of my plans is to make some sort of distortion pedal, or more like maybe like a vibrato pedal or some kind of modulation pedal that shines little laser lights through like a crystal or like one of these rocks, a transparent one, and maybe even have either the light is moving or whatever's holding the crystal is moving, so that the light gets kind of moved around and then picked up by these other sensors, preferably more than one sensor, but it could just be one sensor, could be a bunch of them. And then the outputs, the light received by the light dependent resistors or optocouplers or whatever, those lights getting picked up when they shine through there are going to change the sound, right? So the crystal will be changing the sound. So that could be fun. I know there's actually already pedals very similar to that. Somebody made a pedal where you can pour a liquid into the receptacle, and then the light, or maybe somehow it assesses the conductivity of the liquid. Somehow it allows that liquid to have an effect on the sound. So that's pretty neat. What else? Okay, so now, here's a nice one. I don't know what this is called, but it looks exactly like a tiger's eye, really smooth, and with those kind of tiger's eye patterns in it. But it's green, like a really nice jade green color, super shiny. Matches the color of those green pyramid, octahedron shaped ones, which are not shiny, by the way. All right, well, here's my bag of rocks. Well, all those rocks I just told you about were just the ones that are not even in the bag. They were just lying around the house. So, time to open up this black bag full of my rock collection. Should I just dump them out all at once, or should I take one out one at a time? Okay, one at a time. Going to reach in the bag. Random one. Okay, this is a rose quartz. No, it's not. This is called maybe like a desert rose or something like that. But one thing I do know about it, I remember why I bought it. It looks neat. It has a weird texture to it, almost like it's like frosted sugar, like it's got frosted sugar on it. Kind of like that cereal Frosted Flakes, right? But the special property of it, which I have not used yet, but I was thinking of doing this for a video. If you put this in water, it dissolves gradually. So I would like to do a slow motion video, or maybe slow motion is backwards. I mean more like speeding it up, or we call that time lapse photography, to speed up the process of what it looks like for this thing to melt, right? So that could be neat. I still have that. Reaching in for the next one. Okay, this one feels shiny, and it has like it's like, this has the appearance of like a purple freezy, and it gets white around the edges, kind of frosty looking, but with some deeper color in the middle. That's what this is like. And it's very smooth and nice. There it is. Next, another smooth one. This one has a cloudy green kind of color. Kind of a cute little small rock. I like it. It's funny how you can just be at the rock store and like just check out all these rocks and just stare, just find the right one that you like the most, right? It's hard to choose. Whoa, here's a really good one. Okay, this one's amazing. This one, it's cube shaped. And wow, the color is so nice, and like, it's like a butterscotch milkshake that has not been completely mixed. So it has stripes in it, and it looks delicious, like cheesecake or, wow, that's really yummy. That's amazing. Do not eat the rocks. What's this one? Oh, this one is a heart-shaped. It's been carved into the shape of a heart. And it's like red, kind of a dark red. I don't even know what any of these rocks are called. Well, I might know one or two. Wow, now here's a deep dark color in this rock. Is that black or just very dark green? I kind of want to shine a light on it and find out. Sure enough, that is, yeah, that is a very pure, dark, black color. That's awesome. Oh, and there's a little bit of a sparkle to it too. Once again, I don't know what this rock is called, but it's smooth and shiny. Okay, now this looks kind of like the last one, but more of a charcoal color. So I think I do know what that's called. Hematite. It's a pretty common one. I've actually gotten several of this type of rock before. I just don't remember what it's called right now. Hematite. It's like more of a charcoal gray kind of thing, but it's shiny. In fact, I've owned a couple rings made out of it, but they're a bit fragile. There's a nice, perfectly round marble, I guess. It's basically a marble. Bit of a deep dark red, a little bit of a cloudy, it looks like, marbles look like planets. Marbles look like planets, na 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 na. This one is very red with a little bit of orange on it, so I guess this is like a little Mars marble. But I mean, do I have to be so heliocentric? I mean, well, those are the only planets I know, the ones from our solar system. Sorry. All right, well, this one is some kind of crystal, and it looks very similar to the crystal that I have, which is Amazonite. I don't even know where that one is. That one's huge, but this one's a lot smaller. You can sort of see through it. It's kind of neat when you look into these things. They have almost like membranes within them, where it's like they look like they've been cracked, where there's different grains facing each other, kind of like when a group of bubbles all group together, wherever they're clumped together, they have a surface, a membrane where they create these little shapes between them. Sometimes you see those kind of shapes inside of rocks. This one looks like it's literally going to fall apart because some of the regions are so distinct that they look like they're going to separate. And that's like a clear white color. A lot of these rocks have like very irregular shapes. That cube-shaped butterscotch one, though, is pretty amazing. Wow. This one's irregularly shaped. Definitely got some, well, I can't use the word flaw. It's not a flaw. Like, what am I expecting? I'm not like a rock expert. It's just like some parts are smooth and some parts look all kind of dented and like it's been bashed around and broken. Could fill that with gold. Anyway, but this one has some really nice colors in it. Some of the nicest colors are also like really kind of boring looking. Like, you know, you think of a nice sunset, people want it to be colorful and amazing, but really some of the more subdued tones are just as hypnotic. That's what this one's like. Okay, I just pulled out a bag of crystals there's 3 of them. I specifically bought these ones to go with the plan of doing that guitar pedal idea. So they are like obelisks with some pretty distinct sides on them, very flat sides, and they're obelisk shaped. I feel like those might be the best shape for that kind of guitar pedal idea. So you got these crystals sticking out the top of your guitar pedal, kind of like Superman's castle at the North Pole. Wow, this is a really nice bright pink freaking rock. It's so pink. It's just as pink as the album cover for Garbage's first album. That's how pink this is. That's awesome. And I'm pretty sure it's natural. I mean, it almost seems like too pink to be natural, but I mean, I think it is. I'm not going to break it open. What would they do? Do people dye rocks? It just seems like a natural color for this rock. So as I'm looking at these rocks, I'm just remembering a bunch of the different rock stores I've been to. This one here, for some reason, I think I got it at the wildlife park. Because, I mean, I did just sort of think of the wildlife park when I looked at it. So, I mean, I don't know for sure, you know. It might be just a coincidence that I'm remembering yeah, okay, stop talking. That's not the interesting part. Okay, erase that. Yeah, just erase that last part. Yeah, just rewind it. Thanks. I'm the only one here. So now here's another freaking pink and purple rock. Pretty awesome. This one is more see-through. You can just look right into it. Oh, that reminds me of Star Trek, the original series, special effects, before Star Wars was even invented. They had a lot of little lighting tricks that were very simple and amazing. Oh, here's another perfectly cube-shaped rock. Not quite as parallel like as the other one. Well, when I say a perfect cube, it does have rounded corners. But this one is a little bit more crooked, but it's still pretty awesome. And the colors, really neat. Very planetary looking. You know how Jupiter has all those stripes in the clouds? This one looks like that. Burgundy. fiery orange, red, mustard, yellow. The mustard is clouds. The brighter yellow is like vivid. Lots of clouds in this one. Rocks like these would be really good for really close-up photography and somehow make a film environment that's just completely or largely made of these textures from rocks. You wouldn't even recognize it as being a rock. Like you turn it into a background, like the sky, the sunset could be made of the close-up photography of these rocks. All right, well, here's a nice one, I guess. Sure. Well, that's just a gentle, like very pale rose kind of color. It's got one flat side, and what kind of triangles do we have? Equilateral, scalene, and isosceles. So scalene is where it's like a random, like non-geometrical at all, right? That's what this is like. This is like a pyramid, but with a scalene top half when you set it down. Like the point of the pyramid is not particularly situated in any spot. And that also describes this one. This one's more of like a leather wood kind of, or like a walnut interior, like on the dashboard of a really old Rolls Royce or something. Really old car, like a walnut dashboard. That's what this rock looks like. ASMR. Oh yeah, here's another one of those awesome rocks that's like I need to know what this is called. That's annoying. Hematite. It's the gunmetal gray, kind of charcoal gray, shiny looking one. Maybe I'll figure that out before the end. Hematite. Here's another one of those bright pink ones. Wow, this is quite a lemon yellow one. Well, that's a yellow rock, and I dropped it, and it landed on my yellow pedal, which is a Boss Super Overdrive SD1. Well, I should have known that was going to happen. Marbles like to roll. Falling on the floor. Now there's a nice amethyst type of purple looking thing with some stripes in it in a V shape. Pretty cool, like a chevron type of thing. Almost down to the last one. This one is a nice dark, rustic, wet clay looking color with a stripe of transparency going through it. That is pretty neat. It makes me wonder what's lurking inside. This is the last one in that little baggie. This is another planetary looking one, kind of like that other one. Pretty friggin' sweet. Well, I probably have some more rocks around, but that was my show and tell for my rock collection. Inspired by the song I Wanna Rock by Twisted Sister. Musician philosophy time. You ready? Getting ready to play music, that's bullshit. It's better to play music when you're not ready. Getting warmed up? No. That shit is fake. Okay, I had a brain fart this morning. Here it is. You know how an inductor induces a phase shift in response to an alternating current? Because the electron flow makes a magnetic field, and then the magnetic field creates its own current or something like that. But it takes time for the magnetic field to expand. And that's the reason for the phase shift. In other words, the current flow happens after the voltage or something. Okay, well, here's my idea. Maybe other
oscillating systems such as the Big Bang of the universe, which then would expand and then contract back to a singularity and then explode again, repeatedly expanding and contracting. Maybe a system such as that one also generates some sort of phase shift phenomenon. I know it's crazy, but what the heck? And maybe that concept could explain things like, oh, well, where does this extra energy come from? Scientists try to explain it with dark matter, but maybe it's really due to phase shifting as a property of the oscillation of the universe. Just like an inductor. By the way, if you're not familiar, an inductor is a wire that is wrapped around an iron coil. An iron bar or something. And it could be actually in the shape of a donut that helps focus it even more. And that could be used in a wah-wah pedal or for other things too. It's electronics stuff, right? Okay, well, that's my brain fart for the day. Okay, this is a crazy idea because if you get hot sauce on your fingers and then you touch your face, your eyes are going to be burning. But I have this stuff called Blair's Beyond Death Sauce, and I'm going to put one drop in the butter for my popcorn. It's going to be delicious, but could be traumatic. Okay, time to pour the hot butter on the popcorn. Okay, gonna get hot sauce in my eyes. Not on purpose, necessarily, but maybe I should choose to watch a movie that's got some pain in it. A movie about getting hurt, maybe some horror movies. Or some kind of movie that would make me cry. Oh, if you're crying and you also have hot sauce in your eyes, that sounds great.
Approaching end of podcast episode in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Beep.